Hello again and welcome back to my channel. My name is Azizat Hamza and today let's talk about crying. Are you a very emotional person? Let me know in the comment section. Like, how often do you cry? Like, do you cry over small things like I do? So today is just about me being vulnerable. Like, let me just confess here that I'm someone who is very, very emotional. I'm someone who cries over small things. I'm someone who, um, when being wrong, I have to cry it out. When something happened, I have to cry it out. If I did not even cry, I'm not going to be normal. Like, crying has become like my coping mechanism. So, and there was a time I was very depressed, and crying has been something that I do often at the time. Like, I could cry for days, my eyes were all swollen, headache and all that, because I constantly cry. Like, I could cry for hours. And I went to therapy, and yeah, I got helped. But I realized that even after therapy, even after so many things, I realized that crying is kind of my strength. I don't know if something, if there are people that view crying as a strength. Nowadays, I cried not because I'm depressed. I cried to move on. I cried to get over whatever it is that is disturbing me at the moment. Like, if something happened and that thing is itching me and I did not cry it out, sorry, and I did not cry it out, it's going to keep disturbing me. So it's better I just cry it out, and then that crying kind of give me strength to move on quickly. I remember the last time I broke up with my ex, that I cried and cried and cried. So I'm that kind of person. And I remembered when I failed at things that I'm supposed to do. I cried also. I cried when someone called me certain names. I cried and I moved on. I cried if things did not go my way. If I cry, it will kind of give me the strength to regroup and to start over again, or to think about things and know how to navigate it, or know how to start over, or how to move on. So crying has kind of became my coping mechanism. It has become my strength, not in a negative way, but in a positive way. There was a time I was depressed, and the crying is negative. But right now, as I'm beginning to gain more confidence, to heal about certain things, to be strong about certain things, I realize that crying has become a strength for me. So there is notion that men don't cry, or men should not cry and all that. But if you are a guy and you're watching this video, please, if you feel like crying, cry. If you feel like crying, cry. uh you don't have to lose someone before you cry. If there's a situation that disturbs you and the only way to vent out is to cry, just because you are a man doesn't mean you should not cry. Cry and move on and regroup and pick up yourself again, because that's what I'm doing. And if you're a lady, just don't make it something that will make you put you into depression. Just something that sometimes it's just few tears, and just I'll clean my eyes and yeah, we move. And sometimes it's something that, okay, yeah, I will have to cry, shed tears, and do a lot of things before I could just be able to continue doing what I'm doing, and to be able to just cope with whatever situation I find myself in. I've seen a guy cry because I encourage him, like, cry. You're telling me all of these things, and it's building up inside you, and cry, because you're a man doesn't mean you should not cry. Crying is not a woman thing. It's general. It's an emotion. So you should show your emotion. And he did cry and he did feel better. So, and there was a time I was talking with a friend. He was narrating a lot of things, all the struggles, losing his parents, not having people to support, even friends not supporting. And he ended up becoming emotional and he cried it out. And I said, yes, well done. Now you can regroup. Now you have confidence to move on because you finally let out all the things that have been disturbing you. So if you're a guy and you're watching this video, yes, I know there are some people who are not emotional, very emotional, who can cope with whatever it is. But if you're, that doesn't mean that you should not cry why when you know inside of you that you need to cry it out. Do cry, it's okay. You don't need to come out, oh, I'm crying. Yes, you and yourself cry it out and let whatever it is that is building up inside of you go. Let it out, like scream it out. And just tell me in the comment section, are you someone who is very emotional? Are you someone who cries? Are you someone who thinks that crying is just for women, like men should not cry? Just let me know in the comment section. Also, because I'm very emotional, um sometimes this affects me negatively because sometimes there are things that will happen and people will just move on quickly, but I will cry or I'll feel bad about it because that's just me. I'm someone who is very emotional. Sometimes all the small things that people think that it's not enough for one to cry or it's not enough for one to feel bad about, I will feel bad about it. Like I remember a few days ago when someone, I won't mention it, but someone who I respect a lot called me Babbar Banza in Hausa. It's Babbar Banza. Babbar Banza means a big fool. So, like, I'm 28 and someone who is older, who I respect, is calling me that. And I feel bad. And like the crybaby I am, I have to cry it out. Like, am I really what this person is saying I am? And after crying, I realized that no, I'm not a big fool. I'm not. I'm not. Just because I make a mistake doesn't make me a big fool. I'm 28. Yes, I know I'm an adult, but that does not make me a big fool. I make mistake does not mean that I am a big fool. So after crying, that is when I realized that no, this is not me. So I should just move on and I let it out. So if I did not cry, that thing would have keep on haunting me. Whenever it is that I'm doing something, I'll remember that, oh, someone called me a big fool. So that's just my kind of coping mechanism, and I cried it out. And yeah, I even wrote about it in my journal just to let everything go. And I told myself that I'm going to not be a big fool. I'm not a big fool, and I'm not going to be a big fool either. So that's just it for today. And let me know in the comment section if you have if you are someone who is very emotional, if you are someone who even words will go through you and hurt you, if you are someone who believes that okay, crying is for women, men should not cry, if you are someone who does not cry like easily, or if you are someone like me that cries easily, or that take crying as a form of strength or as a form of coping mechanism. So let me know in the comment section. And if you like this video, please consider subscribing. Thank you.